So, Brett Sorum, do you believe in the American dream?
I do. I do believe in the American dream. Yes.
Why do you,
Go ahead.
why do you believe it's possible?
I mean, the American dream, I guess, stems from our what's it called? Our what is it? The Declaration of Independence, and it says a few things in there where it stems from, and I believe that it's possible because at least in this country, for the most part, there we're obviously still got some headway to make, but there's not too many problems or I don't know. It's like compared to other countries out there, we have a lot of freedom and a lot of opportunity to do whatever we want. And so if whatever we want means open a business or try to fly to the moon or be a social worker, we can do that, and we have the opportunities to do that here. So,
Do you think that it's possible for any American, regardless, of ethnicity, race, religion, or sexual orientation, that they be able to accomplish their dreams? Like there's people who have from different races or ethnicities, it may be hard for them or sexual orientation to accomplish their American dreams because they have obstacles.
yes. I mean, of course they can. Obviously, they have a tougher, path with all sorts of racism that's still prevalent today, and but I believe that they definitely can. And I mean, I am obviously a white American male, and so I have no excuses or anything to not go out and try to accomplish whatever I want to accomplish. However, a lot of the people who are of different races have experienced racism from, I assume, when they were younger, and it's tough, but that also builds like courage, and it builds if you are able to respond from it positively, you become a stronger person for it. And so I believe that anybody can achieve their American dream. It's just some people have it a little bit more difficult than others because there are a lot of people out there, unfortunately, who don't see that all men and women are created equal. So I think we're going in the right direction. It's obviously a slow-moving ship, but we're hopefully going in the right direction.
Have you ever met any people that feel like that they couldn't get there in life because of their race or?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anybody specific, but I've definitely met people that use that as an excuse, and I can't speak from anybody's specific shoes. However, some of the times it seems like it's more of a outlook problem and a self-perception problem than it is specifically a race or sexual orientation or whatever issue. I fortunately haven't met anyone that really goes through and has a really tough time with those issues. I mean, I know some of my best friends are gay, and some of my really good friends are lesbian women, and that's even tougher to an extent. But I mean, it can be a tough situation to be in, and it's easy to get down on yourself, but you also have to rise above, and many of them do and are better people for it, and just keep a positive attitude.
Cool. So another question that I have is, have you ever met someone who claimed to be living in the American dream?
I don't know if anybody really uses the term like the American dream or claims it. I mean, I know it's more casually kind of thrown around where, people are having a good day or a good week or They, you know, get a job, a great job offer or something, and everything's going right, and people say, you know, I'm living the dream. I think that's the closest thing to, you know, to living the American dream that I know of. But it's more so of a, I guess, a temporary feeling or state of mind that some of these people that I know have been in. I don't know too many people who are like, I am living, but we are really. I mean, I'm living the American dream. I have a roof over my head. I have a great job. I have amazing friends. I'm free to do, you know, what I want to do. And, you know, technically, like, that is the American dream. It doesn't have to be this, you know, huge, like, unattainable thing. It's, you know, we all are to an extent. So, and I don't know, it's just the American dream is also, it's a very nebulous thing, which kind of means like hard to define. And so everyone has their own different perception of what the American dream is and what it means to them. So, I mean, I can say I'm living the American dream.
Perception of the American dream, though, like, what do you define as the American dream? That's interesting.
I think the American dream is having the opportunity to achieve your goals and the you know, the freedom to do it, and that it's morally and, you know, emotionally and physically and you know, attainable. And so, I mean, my, I guess, specific definition for the, like, my American dream is to, you know, have a family eventually, live wherever, you know, I want, probably in New York and a place on the West Coast, and, you know, make films and play a lot of soccer and skateboard and, you know, have a really good balanced life. And, you know, we can do that here, and I can do that. There are some countries that you can't do what you want because of how, you know, how those countries are run. And so, you know, obviously a lot of people have it a lot tougher here than some, but you think about how other people live in other countries where they don't have the opportunities and the freedoms that we do in this country.
Could you think of a country that people don't have a lot of freedoms in?
I mean, what is it? Is it North Korea or South Korea? I'm gonna sound very unintelligent, but I think it's North Korea. I forget. It's one of the Koreas, to quote.
North Korea mostly.
Yeah,
because South Korea is westernized, so
yeah. So it's I mean, there for sure. Where else? Some of the Middle Eastern, for sure, Middle Eastern countries where, you know, women are only allowed to go outside if they have everything covered up other than their eyes. Or, I mean, I'm sure some countries that I don't really know of in Africa, that they just don't have the resources and the technology that we have, but they have a simple life. And, you know, sometimes in some of the countries, maybe those people really enjoy what they have. They just don't really, you know, have the, they don't know what life is like outside of their environment. And so their whole dream, it wouldn't be an American dream, it would be whatever country they're from, but, you know, it would be a lot different than ours would.
So you think that dreams are different other places, right?
I mean, I just think you only know what you know and what you've experienced and what you have in front of you. And so, you know, if you are, you know, we have like the world at our fingertips, and we have online, and we can see things instantly, and with this whole digital age, and you basically only have your experiences in front of you, and from those experiences stems like your, you know, dreams or your beliefs. And, you know, I mean, when you were younger, when you were a young kid, you're like, oh man, I just want to go to McDonald's, and that would be the greatest thing in the world. And that's your kid's dream at that second. But then when you get older, like certain materialistic things, like toys that you really wanted or this or that, don't really become as big of a priority anymore because your dreams change. And so, I only can dream with, what I have is pertaining to like my experiences. And then everybody else has lived their lives and their dreams are different because of, the experiences that they've went through and lived through.
Interesting. I think that brings it kind of together,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else? Do you feel like that you're achieving your American dream? Like you're getting close? I mean, you mentioned it before, but do you think you're getting close to reaching your quote American dream?
Yeah, I mean, like what I'd like to say is I'd like to say I'm living my American dream, and my American dream is continually evolving. And so I know, like 4 or 5 years ago, I envisioned, now essentially, and I have a great job, and I have great friends, and I'm in, obviously, we have an amazing family, and I have the opportunity to do whatever I want to do. And so essentially, I am living the American dream that I have previously dreamed of. However, now if you want to call it American dream, it is continually changing. And so it's, I want to be able to travel more, and I want to, make make big films and meet amazing people and change people's lives and da 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 da. And so that continuously changes. And so, I mean, because my dream is changing, I believe that I am living my American dream. It's just continually evolving, depending upon, my whatever happens tomorrow.
Interesting. I like, because when you think about a dream, like for me, it's always like when you think about a dream, you think it's going to be set. That goal you have is going to be set. But it seems like, in your perspective, is that your goal is always changing, and it's kind of like society itself. People back then thought their American dream is to have a house and live happy, but there's some people who dream bigger and then want to be wealthy, or they want to make giant changes in society, and it's interesting.
Of course, it's definitely interesting, and I think that the more that you as a person can be happy with what you have, and obviously you would still have higher goals and higher dreams and expectations for yourself, but it's good to always be chasing something. But it's also important to be very happy and proud and, just happy with where you are in your life. And so, because if you're always just chasing after this one thing and you just want to achieve it and achieve it and achieve it, and you're not enjoying your experiences, and you don't take time to stop and relax and, really, live in the present, it can be, your life can go by without a blink of an eye, and you're always going towards something instead of like enjoying what you have accomplished. So definitely have those big dreams that you have, but then also have, ones that you can work towards and accomplish those and continue on.
That's very good advice. Because there's people out there that they want to achieve something big, but at the end they don't achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And they're disappointed. But there's like other people that haven't achieved their dreams, and they still think their lives is better still. There's something still worth living. I think that's an interesting perspective to have.
Yeah.
Especially in this time of age where people are like struggling, financially, and
Of course.
So I think your idea is more open-minded, and it's a very good idea to have. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, it's very important to be present and live now instead of always continuously trying to like look forward to something that's ahead instead of enjoying like what you have. And so just I've obviously been changing my perspective and my outlook over the last like 5 years to try and be a little bit more present and positive, and just always just have like good energy. And it definitely changes. There's just like a little like switch of perspective that you can do. It's kind of like, for instance, let's say, what's a good example? Okay, so here's a good example. One of my really good friends, his name's Brad. He moved down to San Diego, and he's kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, because he is a very talented DP, a cinematographer. For those of you who don't know, I don't know who's watching this, but it's the guy who films the movies. And then he also is entertaining going down another path and maybe trying to get into this like other types of businesses that's not even film oriented. And he was struggling with the decision, because it's a big decision. It's your life ahead of you. It's do you continue doing what you love, but also like it being very hard, and it's always a grind, or do you go down another path that could be could be just as great, but also there's more stability, and now he's got a fiance and everything, and he was texting me about it, and he was like, I'm just worried about making the wrong choice. And the first thing that I said to him is instead of worrying about making the right choice, you should focus, or sorry, instead of worrying about making the wrong choice, you should focus on making the right choice. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, it's simple. It's like the glass half empty or half full. But if you start from like the very, very beginning and you look at it from a different perspective, instead of, a mountain to climb, it's an opportunity, then it just starts to kind of come naturally. And, you are a more pleasant and positive and happier person to be around, and it's just going to come instinctually. So.
Cool. That's a very interesting story to tell. So let's go. Do you want to go on to the next question?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So I think you talked a little bit about this, and I think we did talk about this question, but do you want to give another shot at it?
Sure.
So what would you say to a person who comes from a background with many social barriers, who wants to achieve their American dream,
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, whenever there are those times that, they feel oppressed or down on themselves or anything like that, to use that fuel and just kind of how, like I was saying before, like change the perspective of it and use that to, be your motivation to grow or achieve whatever you want to achieve. And, there's always times where I'm sure that they are, the subject of racism, and it's to always try to be like the better person, because how are, the people that are, I can't believe I can't think about how to say this. How are the people who are being racist towards the other people know that they're going to be wrong? It's because the people who are the subjects of racism need to be able to try and spin it, and let the reason that people are racist is because they fear people, and because they fear the unknown, and because they're not comfortable with it. And it's an impossible problem to solve. I don't know how to solve it, other than just being like open and nice to everybody. And I guess if I was giving more advice to, someone like that, it's whenever they do experience that, it's to just kind of not really laugh it off, but that other person needs like love, and to do their best in order to, let that person understand that I am a human being just like you, and we're all, we're all created equal, but I deserve just as much respect as anybody else does. And, it's a really tough thing to go through, and I can't imagine having to do it. So it's, you know, I mean, it's pretty difficult.
I think we have basically summed up most of the questions.
Yeah.
Basically. But I have one more final question for you. So
Cool.
this is basically a sum up question. Do you have any advice for anyone I want to discuss about, like, in the interview about the American dream? Like, do you have any like final thoughts or anything?
Pertaining to who?
To the American dream, you know?
Oh, just any final thoughts on the American dream?
Yeah, or just like people who want to achieve it. Something behind the lines related to the American dream, I think would be good.
Okay, so any final thoughts on, you know, how someone can achieve the American dream or whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, if I could give any sort of advice to people who are looking to achieve the American dream, it would just be to see. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to go back to it's an outlook, it's your perspective, and always just trying to be thankful for what you have, and then trying to achieve what you don't in a healthy and like positive outlook. And let's see. Also, I mean, I mean, it depends what people's dreams are. Some people don't, some people have dreams that are just, I want to make a lot of money, or, you know, I want a great house, or I want to be rich or whatever. But to me, like, that's not necessarily a dream. That's that's just a monetary gain. It's not really a dream to me. I understand. It's like, yes, I want to be rich. I get it. But how, how does that happen? And like, what's more important to you? I don't think that just being rich is going to solve whatever kind of problems they have. And so obviously it's going to solve some, because financial issues are, you know, definitely daunting on anybody. But it's to really, I would say, really examine yourself and, you know, try and think back of what you really loved when you were a kid, and what your, you know, goals and dreams were, and try and figure out, you know, exactly what that is. I mean, it's really easy for me. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a pro skateboarder, and then I sort of like went down that road, and then I grew older, and now I wanted to do film, so that's what I'm doing. And I guess trying to clearly, well, here's a good piece of advice that I will do. Once you realize your dream and you kind of see what you want to do one thing a day, every single day, towards accomplishing your dream. It doesn't have to be anything like momentous or whatever. It can be something as simple as, like, you know, watching a film if you want to make films, and studying, or, you know, writing, or whatever. Or if you want to, cure cancer, I don't know, it's be a crazy and great thing. Do one thing a day, even if it's a little thing, towards, you know, your dreams, so that you're constantly growing and you're constantly working towards it, instead of just kind of standing still.
I think that concludes it. That was a really awesome conclusion. Thank you so much. You know.
Awesome. Of course. Of course.
All right. I think I can stop recording now.
Yeah.